I am Imogen and I am a student in Bristol and I'm currently a volunteer at the charity Shelter.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about what Shelter is and what it involves?
Shelter is a service and a charity that offers help for any individual that may be going through or suffering from homelessness. Shelter, specifically to Bristol, specialises or focuses rather on families, young families that are going through a state of homelessness, and its aim is to stabilise these families and help them have a stable home environment.
And what is your role within the charity?
Within the charity, I've been doing a volunteer position in which the groups and sessions that Shelter offers for children of the families that are suffering a state of homelessness, either in halfway houses, B&Bs or hostels. There are sessions that are run at the base of Shelter, in which the children go to, and what I've been helping out is primarily maths and English for them, so that they don't fall back behind within education, which is a really big problem for a lot of their children and young people going through a state of homelessness, because home life is a massive part of where you need to be keeping up your homework and keeping up with school, and it can be disrupted dramatically if you have not got a home life that offers you a safe environment in order to keep up with your schoolwork.
Do you think that the lack of education is one of the main reasons for homelessness?
I think homelessness can definitely play a key role in a decline within the educational system within Britain, and that is a main thing that provides someone stability within their life. If they were to have money management skills, literacy skills, it can help them within housing and the things that are involved with keeping up, like bills, communication with landlords, communication with services that they may be entitled to, benefits and things that are out there to help them get out of their state of homelessness.
Okay, so do you think that the children of the homeless parents are more likely to become homeless because of the way they're raised?
I believe it can play a massive part in how their life will unravel. If they, for example, the educational side, if they fall back in education, then they may not be able to achieve the meritocratic needs that will get them further within British society, because in order to stay in a house you need money and income, you need a job what will offer you support for your housing, and if you are then falling back behind in school and don't achieve well academically, you may find yourself in a position where you cannot get yourself further within housing because you don't have the means to be able to provide an income for yourself or to sort out housing just through the talking to landlords and things like that.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that the continuity as well as the children's home life is a big...
Yeah, definitely. It disrupts how they then probably perceive life to be, would be very unstable and difficult for them. I mean, your home life is where it is your base and your haven, or in some respects this is how you can progress. Is definitely dependent upon where you are living and your housing situation.
Okay, so earlier you were telling us about how you now have a loan or something, you can now help the parents?
Yeah, through qualifying for a DBS form, it basically constitutes for you to be able to do loan work with yourself, and means to work with people independently from the charity and the base of Shelter itself. So you can then be able to help other people further afield who may not be able to come to Shelter. I mean, transport issues or organisation, and when individuals are trying to organise themselves through a state of homelessness, it can be very difficult. So having the opportunity to be able to come to people can really help them when they're in their own environment, and may make them feel more comfortable, less alienated. So for me to be able to go to the hostels, the halfway houses, and help the parents, it can be a real boost for them, because it's where they're most comfortable perhaps, rather than coming to the charity itself and having to feel a little bit isolated within it.
Do you think that they are stereotyped, and if so, is it a misrepresentation?
Yeah, I think there definitely is a stereotype of what a homeless person is. High priority within Bristol would be homelessness, and there are, so thankfully there are a lot of established other charities which help homelessness, like the Emmaus, and there are many access surgeries for the typical homeless person, which would be a male between the ages of 20 and 40 who may be suffering from addiction problems. And so I believe this does fuel a stereotype of what a homeless person may be, would be a drug addict man of the age of 20 to 40. But you could be a victim of homelessness from any situation, and definitely in the climate at the moment within Britain, it's happening to people who may never ever imagine they might be in that position. So shelter focuses primarily within Bristol on families who are going through homelessness, and able to stabilise them, rather than just the typical male, drug addicted male, who you may believe is all that homeless people are.
Yeah. So how old are these children that you help?
The children that I've been working with are the ages of 6 to 11, and there are different groups for ages of 11 to 16 for Key Stage 3 students, which focuses heavily on like GCSEs and the kind of established curriculum within Britain, what you need to jump through the hoops of in order to gain the GCSEs, which will be imperative in some respects in getting housing later on, with jobs and such things.
So I can imagine, I don't know if you know this because you've only been dealing with the younger ones, but I can imagine that there's a big behavioural difference between the younger ones and maybe the teenage ones, because of, they're going through teenage years.
Yeah, definitely. I think puberty is a massive factor within how the 11 to 16-year-olds may be feeling, going through a state where they don't have a safe place to be. It will be very difficult for them when they're trying to get on with lots of other things within their life, which will be the starting point of where they will end up themselves. So for those individuals in those groups, it focuses a lot on behavioural aspects, and there is a lot of friction that can become prevalent within the sessions, because of the children and the teenagers are feeling very isolated and alienated by their position. And also it's, I think, a problem that you would not want to be categorised as someone homeless, because it has so many stereotypes, as we have just discussed, that teenagers can feel very angry at their situation and not know how to quite deal with it. And so those sessions really do focus on the emotional side towards the individuals who are a recipient of homelessness.
Have you experienced any abnormal behaviours in the children at the charity, as opposed to like someone that maybe a child that isn't homeless?
I have witnessed the children. Sometimes I can see that they feel alienated by their position, and sometimes they've asked, why is it that we are being offered these services? Is this normal for children? And it's a difficult position to be put in, to try and explain how you should never feel alienated by the fact that perhaps your family is going through homelessness. But it is a difficult thing, because your home is something that's core to you, and really probably is the basis as to how you feel emotionally within yourself. But these children are robbed of that, and they're in almost a state of limbo, and they have nowhere that they can really call home. And I think that's very important for a child. It's really imperative for a child's well-being.
You know how you're helping with the charity now? Does it help continue helping them, or when they find a home, does it just move on to it?
Shelter focuses heavily on the before, during and after stages of homelessness, because what is a key factor within what they offer is hopefully to be able to stabilise the individual. So other roles can be money management skills and literacy for the parents who may need a little bit of help with dealing with bills, letters, dealing with landlords and communication sides of that. If they feel perhaps that they can't achieve this, they don't feel very comfortable talking with landlords, then the service can help them stabilise them.